World War II turned North Africa into a testing ground for armored warfare. Italy entered the desert with machines shaped by limited industry and earlier colonial wars. This documentary records every Italian armored fighting vehicle used there, examining purpose, combat role, and the human experience inside Steel Hull's theater objectively. Tankettes and light tanks. L3 of 33 Tankette. The L3 of 33, or CV-33, was a two-man tankette built for speed and simplicity. Its armor was thin, enough to resist small arms, and it carried twin machine guns rather than a cannon. Designed for infantry support and colonial policing, it excelled in mobility but faltered against real armored threats. In North Africa, it patrolled deserts, scouted positions, and supported infantry advances. Crew experience was harsh. Inside the cramped hull, heat and dust were relentless. Visibility was minimal, and survival against British tanks was almost impossible. The L3 of 33 highlighted Italy's early war limitations, paving the way for improved light armored vehicles. L3 of 35 Tankette. The L3 of 35, or CV-35, was an upgraded version of the CV-33, retaining its two-man layout but with slightly better armor and minor mechanical improvements. It still relied on twin 8mm machine guns, with no true anti-tank capability. In North Africa, the CV-35 formed the bulk of Italy's light armored forces. It carried out reconnaissance, escorted supply convoys, and attempted to support infantry in fast-moving desert engagements. Crews faced the same tight, stifling conditions as the CV-33. Dust infiltrated every joint, engine noise was constant, and the thin armor offered little protection from enemy fire. Despite these vulnerabilities, its numbers allowed Italian units to maintain presence across wide desert spaces. The CV-35's performance underscored the urgent need for more capable light and medium tanks. L3 of 38 Tankette. The L3 of 38 was the last evolution of Italy's Tankette series, combining the CV-35's chassis with minor mechanical refinements. Armor thickness remained light, and armament stayed limited to twin machine guns. Deployed in North Africa, it performed reconnaissance, scouting, and convoy protection duties. Its small size allowed rapid movement across desert tracks, but it was vulnerable to every Allied anti-tank weapon. For the two-man crew, conditions were cramped and exhausting. Heat, dust, and engine vibrations made long patrols punishing. Every engagement was a test of courage rather than firepower. The L338 highlighted the obsolescence of tankettes by 1940, prompting Italy to pursue true light tanks for the desert campaign. L6 of 40 light tank. The L640 was a two-man light tank designed for reconnaissance and infantry support. It carried a 20mm main gun and a coaxial machine gun, offering modest anti-armor capability compared to earlier tankettes. In North Africa, the L640 performed scouting missions, screening maneuvers, and occasional skirmishes against Allied armor. Its relatively small size and improved mobility allowed it to traverse desert terrain more effectively than its predecessors. Crew experience remained challenging. Confined interiors, limited visibility, and heat made operations exhausting. Yet, the L640 provided crews with slightly better protection and firepower, allowing cautious engagement with lightly armored British vehicles. It marked a transition from fragile tankettes to practical light tanks in Italian desert doctrine. Medium tanks. M11/39 medium tank. The M11/39 was Italy's first purpose-built medium tank, intended to provide firepower and mobility beyond light tanks. It featured a 37mm hull-mounted gun and two 8mm machine guns in a small turret. In North Africa, the M11/39 served as the backbone of early medium tank units. Its hull gun limited tactical flexibility, forcing crews to face targets head-on rather than engaging from multiple angles. Crew experience was demanding. Operating in harsh desert heat, visibility was restricted, and coordinating the hull-mounted gun with the small turret required constant communication. Mechanical reliability was moderate, with engines struggling over long desert marches. The M11/39 revealed both potential and limitation, paving the way for the more capable M13/40. M13/40 medium tank. The M13/40 was Italy's principal medium tank in North Africa, mounting a 47mm main gun in a rotating turret and two 8mm machine guns. It balanced mobility, firepower, and armor better than its predecessors. Deployed extensively across Libya and Egypt, the M13/40 spearheaded Italian armored assaults and defensive actions. It faced British Crusaders and Matildas, often at a numerical disadvantage. For the crew, conditions were arduous. The turret was cramped, temperatures soared inside the steel hull, and dust and sand infiltrated every mechanism. Maintenance was constant, and prolonged combat exposed crews to both heat and enemy fire. Despite its flaws, the M13/40 became a symbol of Italy's armored effort in the desert, defining the battlefield for several campaigns. M14/41 medium tank. The M14/41 was an evolution of the M13/40, featuring a more powerful 42-liter engine, slightly thicker armor, and minor mechanical refinements. Its 47mm turret gun remained the primary armament, supported by two 8mm machine guns. In North Africa, the M14/41 served in the same roles as its predecessor, spearheading attacks, defending positions, and supporting infantry across desert campaigns. Enhanced mobility allowed it to traverse dunes more effectively, though it still struggled against heavier British armor. Crew experience mirrored the M13/40 but with marginal improvements. Heat, dust, and cramped conditions remained constant challenges, while the stronger engine slightly eased maneuvering over rough terrain. The M14/41 represented Italy's attempt to modernize medium armor under wartime constraints. M15/42 medium tank. The M15/42 was Italy's final medium tank of the North African campaign, fitted with a 47mm main gun in a larger turret and thicker armor than its predecessors. It also featured an upgraded 190 horsepower engine for improved mobility. Its arrival in North Africa was limited and late, often joining units after major campaigns had ended. Where deployed, it served in defensive roles and infantry support, providing slightly better protection against Allied anti-tank weapons. Crew experience improved marginally with more internal space and slightly better ergonomics, though desert heat and dust remained punishing. Mechanical reliability was better, but logistical shortages limited its operational impact. The M15/42 marked the end of Italy's medium tank evolution in North Africa, bridging early war design with late war necessity. Armored cars and reconnaissance vehicles. UP-40. The AB-40 was a four-wheeled armored car designed for reconnaissance and patrol duties. It featured a 20mm main gun and a coaxial machine gun, combining mobility with light firepower. In North Africa, the AB-40 performed scouting missions, convoy protection, and quick reaction roles. Its all-wheel drive system allowed it to navigate desert tracks more effectively than tracked vehicles in certain terrains. Crew experience was compact but manageable. Seating for three allowed coordination between driver, gunner, and commander, though exposure to heat and dust was constant. Visibility was better than in tanks, giving crews a tactical advantage during reconnaissance. The AB-40 demonstrated Italy's effort to combine speed, firepower, and reconnaissance capability in one vehicle. UP-41. The AB-41 was a development of the AB-40, featuring improved armor, a 20mm main gun, and a four-wheel drive chassis capable of high desert speeds. It accommodated a three-man crew: driver, gunner, and commander. In North Africa, the AB-41 carried out long-range reconnaissance, rapid strikes, and convoy escort missions. Its speed allowed Italian units to patrol vast desert distances and respond quickly to Allied movements. Crew experience was challenging but more comfortable than in Tankettes or light tanks. The vehicle offered better visibility, and the higher speed reduced exposure time, though dust, heat, and engine noise remained constant companions. The AB-41 became a symbol of Italy's attempt to maintain mobility and reconnaissance capabilities across the harsh desert terrain. AS.42 Sahariana. The AS.42 Sahariana was a long-range, six-wheeled reconnaissance vehicle designed specifically for desert warfare. It was lightly armored, armed with a 20mm main gun and a machine gun, and optimized for endurance over speed alone. In North Africa, it carried Italian special units on deep desert patrols, raids, and intelligence missions far behind Allied lines. Its extended range and mobility allowed crews to traverse hundreds of kilometers without resupply, a critical advantage in vast open terrain. Crew experience was austere and demanding. Exposed to heat, dust, and enemy fire, the three-man team relied on navigation skills and mechanical self-reliance to survive long missions. The AS.42 embodied Italy's adaptation to desert conditions, prioritizing endurance, flexibility, and strategic reach over armor. Self-propelled guns and assault vehicles. Semovent de 47 of 32. The Semovent de 47-32 was a light self-propelled gun mounted on an M13/40 chassis, armed with a 47mm anti-tank cannon. Its purpose was to provide mobile firepower where medium tanks could not respond quickly. In North Africa, it served both as a tank destroyer and infantry support vehicle. Its low profile made it harder to spot, but thin armor left crews vulnerable to Allied fire. Crew experience was intense. 2 or 3 men operated under extreme heat and cramped conditions, balancing gun operation, observation, and engine management simultaneously. Maintenance was constant, with desert sand clogging mechanisms and engine components. The Semovent 47-32 demonstrated Italian ingenuity in repurposing existing platforms to meet battlefield needs. Semovent de 75 of 18. The Semovent de 75/18 was a self-propelled gun built on the M13/40 chassis, mounting a 75mm howitzer in a fixed casemate. It was designed for both direct infantry support and limited anti-tank roles. In North Africa, it provided artillery fire from mobile positions, supporting Italian infantry and supplementing medium tanks in defensive operations. Its low silhouette and gun versatility allowed crews to engage enemy armor and fortified positions effectively. Crew experience remained challenging. 3 men operated in a confined space, managing the main gun, communications, and vehicle movement under desert heat and sand. Despite these hardships, the 75/18 was one of Italy's most effective armored vehicles in desert combat. Semovent de 90 of 53. The Semovent de 90-53 was a heavy self-propelled gun mounting a powerful 90mm cannon on a modified M14/41 chassis. It was intended to engage enemy armor at long ranges, acting as Italy's response to increasingly potent Allied tanks. In North Africa, its deployment was limited due to late production and logistical challenges. Where used, it served in defensive roles, ambushing advancing British tanks and protecting key positions. Crew experience was intense but slightly improved by a more spacious interior compared to earlier SPGs. The gun size and recoil demanded precise coordination, while heat, dust, and desert terrain remained constant obstacles. The 90-53 represented Italy's peak desert anti-tank capability, powerful yet constrained by numbers and timing.